Support for Just Seen It comes from Warner Archive Instant. Streaming hard-to-find movies and TV shows direct from the studio at WarnerArchiveInstant.com. Kimball Beauty, offering a complete line of hair care products, is a proud sponsor of Just Seen It. Great hair equals great confidence. Learn more at KimballBeauty.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Weaver's Coffee and Tea, makers of hand-roasted artisan coffee and hand-blended tea. Learn more at weaverscoffee.com. Julian and Daniel create a website for whistleblowers to reveal covert information. Soon they are breaking more hard news than any media outlet in the world.
Former head of Iceland's biggest bank has been accused of fraud.
We took down $1 billion bank. This is crazy.
But when they gain access to secret U.S. intelligence, everything changes in the Fifth Estate.
Hi, I'm Salim.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Leah, and we're here today to discuss The Fifth Estate, the new film about Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks. We've all just seen it. Who wants to start?
I think this is a really well-done film. It's very well-researched. Josh Singer, who's the writer, did a lot of research, and I feel like that really shows in this movie. I think this is a very strong, very interesting piece.
What I love about the movie is that it's actually a character analysis. It's really about the relationship between these two people, Julian Assange and Daniel Berg. And the movie's actually through Daniel Berg's eyes for the most part. We actually don't even see Julian Assange until 10 minutes into the film. And it's kind of the opposite of The Social Network, where we're actually following Andrew Garfield's character as opposed to Mark Zuckerberg's character in this film.
It's a relationship piece and it's a thriller, so it's got a lot going for it. A lot of films that try to do this, I feel like they overreach and they end up with like plot holes and Hollywood fluff, and I feel like this does a very tight job.
Leah? I think Leah. Yeah, okay. No, I don't. Okay. I do not. Not with any degree of fervor, mind you.
Okay.
But the debate between privacy and secrecy and what's in the best interest of the public interest. I think that that's an important discussion and debate that people should continue to have. However, unfortunately, this film doesn't do a good job of establishing a debate or a critique. One of my biggest problems with this film is that it sets itself up from the very beginning as saying, this is an important film. And this is an important topic. I mean, those are very big stakes to put out there from the opening titles. And it situates itself as being as significant as the Gutenberg Bible. The film does that from the very beginning. It is a story that is muddled. It doesn't really know whether it wants to be portraiture or whether it wants to be a thriller. What you're left with then is a film that tries to cover too much territory.
So you do believe me?
No. I didn't until I noticed your friends. Let's not attract attention. The American spooks are relatively civilized. It's the Russians who should be keeping an eye on.
So let's talk about the acting a little bit. Of course, we have Benedict Cumberbatch playing Julian Assange, and we have Daniel Brühl playing Daniel Berg, who are actually surprisingly best friends in real life. And that, to me, is the best part of the film, is their chemistry, is the friendship that they have. And I really enjoyed Benedict Cumberbatch because he had to get the accent, which I thought he got down pretty well. And he also has to play this awkward guy, you know, kind of weird, kind of strange. And I thought he was great at getting all the idiosyncrasies of Julian Assange.
I mean, he plays Sherlock.
Yeah.
So he's used to sort of these
exactly.
megalomaniac, kind of semi-autistic, and I don't want him to get permanently typecast in that role. On the other hand, he does a great job.
He's really good at it.
I felt like all of the performances were right on.
Yeah.
I especially liked Alicia Vikander.
She was great,
As the girlfriend.
She did great.
I felt like all of their performances were very kind of terse and economical. Some of I felt like there was a little bit of stunt casting going on, though, with the Laura Linneys and the Anthony Mackies and the Stanley Tuccis. You know, I mean, that's another way in which the film kind of paints itself as being significant.
But I actually like those characters.
We like the actors and we like the characters, but when you put those big names in those small roles, it's kind of they leave you wanting more, and when you don't get it,
they're small roles that weren't that rewarding.
They weren't that fleshed out. Yeah,
but I didn't know that those two are friends, Benedict and Daniel, because that's what I was going to say is one of the strongest things about this movie is the chemistry they have both as friends and as enemies, and that's very cool to know that chemistry was built on a friendship.
And it's great because Brühl now is doing great. He was in Rush, and so his star is starting to rise as well.
This is more coverage than all the leaks we have had combined. We're winning an information war. which goes beyond any short-term alliance we have with the mainstream media. You want to throw it all away because you fear that some US government informer might come to harm?
These are human beings, Julian.
Okay, so what do we think about Bill Condon, the director? Bill Condon of Gods and Monsters fame, Dreamgirls. He also did Twilight, Breaking Dawn 1 and 2. What do we think about his work here?
I enjoyed the style. I compare it to The Social Network because they had to figure out a way to make it visually interesting, considering that everybody's on the internet talking the whole time. So they had this really cool text on the screen, or just a lot of quick cuts with the music. And I thought that was necessary, because if they didn't have that, it would be very boring and just people at their computers just talking the whole time.
As you say, it's really hard to make something interesting when it's really involves people. Well, it involves people looking at screens, which means that we have to look at screens, which we do all day anyway. So you're like, oh, how do you make that entertaining?
This is an incredibly interesting, beautifully constructed, and well-acted film, and I do believe it will be up for awards. See it.
The Fifth Estate gives us an opportunity to revisit a very important issue affecting all of modern society. However, the film spends too much pointing at its own importance instead of telling a compelling story. Stream it.
The Fifth Estate is thrilling and informative, a great character study assisted by the wonderful chemistry between Benedict Cumberbatch and Daniel Brühl. See it.
Our votes add up to 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for The Fifth Estate. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Never know who's watching.
Hang on.
Finally!
Support for Just Seen It comes from Warner Archive Instant. Streaming hard-to-find movies and TV shows direct from the studio at WarnerArchiveInstant.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Weaver's Coffee and Tea, makers of hand-roasted artisan coffee and hand-blended tea. Learn more at weaverscoffee.com. Kimball Beauty, offering a complete line of hair care products, is a proud sponsor of Just Seen It. Great hair equals great confidence. Learn more at KimballBeauty.com.